Let me ask you something. Think about the best teacher you ever had, the one who actually changed the way you see the world. Chances are, they didn't just hand you information. They taught you how to think, how to sit with a hard problem, how to stay curious when things stopped making sense, how to actually care about what you are learning. Now think about most classrooms today, most degree programs. They're good, really good at building knowledge and professional competence. But alongside that, a conversation is growing. Are we also paying enough attention to who students are becoming in the process? That's what this podcast is about. Welcome to Align, a 3-episode series exploring something that's gaining real attention in universities across Europe. The starting point is this, that knowledge and personal development aren't separate things, that what students learn and how they grow as people are deeply connected, and that higher education has an opportunity and perhaps a responsibility to take both seriously. Align stands for embedding inner and student-centered exploration and development in higher education. The idea at its core is straightforward. If we want graduates who can lead thoughtfully, work through complexity, and contribute meaningfully to the challenges ahead, then education has a role to play that goes beyond the transfer of skills and information. 8 universities and institutions across 6 countries, Sweden, Norway, the Netherlands, Germany, Spain, France, and Greece, came together through an Erasmus Plus partnership to explore what that looks like in practice. Not in theory alone, but by going into real classrooms, working alongside students and educators, developing tools, running pilots, and learning from what actually happens on the ground. Over the next 3 episodes, you'll hear from the researchers and educators doing that work. Today, we are in conversation with 2 of them, André Nijhof, who is a professor at Nyenrode Business University in the Netherlands, and Savis Gohari from NTNU, the Norwegian University of Science and Technology in Trondheim. Both André and Savis are part of the Align partnership, and both bring distinct perspectives on what it means to bring this kind of work into higher education. Today's conversation isn't about deliverables or timelines. It's about the thinking behind this project, why it matters, what it's trying to do, and what educators and students are actually experiencing when inner development becomes part of the academic conversation. We think it's a conversation worth having. Let's begin.
Welcome to this podcast that is a part of the Align project. My name is André Nijhof, and I'm a professor in the field of Sustainable Business and Stewardship. I'm here together with a colleague.
And I'm Savis Gohari, Associate Professor at Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering at NTNU.
Savis, maybe you first of all tell a bit more about your research interests linked to the Align project.
I'm urban planner. I'm very interested in sustainable societies, inclusive societies, and my interest has been shifted to human aspect, how we make our cities and societies more humanistic. Of course, environmental and economic sustainability are very important, but I feel a gap in social sustainability. So it's about urban governance, social sustainability, how we make our societies more inclusive, especially for vulnerable group of society.
Thanks. It also links to my work, and it's in the Netherlands. I'm a part of the Nyenrode Business University. Basically, I'm wearing 2 hats. So partly I'm also doing research in the field of sustainability, especially on how to accelerate the transitions in relation to sustainability. Mm-hmm. But at Nyenrode, I'm also the head of the assurance of learning process. And it's more a bit behind the scenes that for all the degree programs, we try to find ways how to develop the skills for our students that they need to be an agent in these transitions.
Mm-hmm. Right. I also teach urban facility management and facility management, which is going beyond the built environment and bring people into the built environments, their priorities, their needs, and make sure that we are actually developing built environments in a way that is in service of people, and we consider their preferences. So that's the way we are actually doing it, and teaching our students to become ready for the society.
Thanks. For us, we could tell a bit more about your interest in the line project. What is your role?
I'm a co-leader of Work Package, which is a Work Package 4. We are focusing on educating trainees when we actually developing some pilots in which we are focusing on inner development and how we integrate it into the education system. So we are testing our skills and competency in a way that we actually can teach our students, and we bring those results and lessons into the kind of scaling up of those pilots, and we are kind of mentoring other colleagues to actually use the same methods, lessons for their own courses. Yeah.
And for me, I'm the work package leader of Work Package 2. It's more at the beginning of the project. And first of all, we try to investigate a bit more that a lot of universities already have competency frameworks. And now there is a new one, and we especially focus on the IDG guides. But it's on top of these other competency frameworks. So how is it aligned? How can universities embed this within their educational processes? So we are doing this work at the beginning, Work Package 2. In between are the pilots that you were talking about. Now afterwards, Work Package 4 is what you are talking about.
What you're doing is actually very important, because I think we in academia, we used to have a reference of guidance, and we need these kind of frameworks that build a kind of the joint language and methodology in a way that we can actually transfer it to another context. So we are building up on your activities and what you're doing in Work Package 2, right? Yeah.
That's also one thing I like about 7 universities that are part of Align, because we noticed that we all have different contexts. Some from Greece and Spain, and you from Norway, I from the Netherlands. And learning how to implement this within your own context, then it's also very helpful to learn about different contexts. So indeed, cooperation is definitely something I like. And we just have been here 2 days at your university.
I'm very happy to host actually these events. I think after a kickoff meeting in Lund University, we are the second host. And it was kind of very pleasurable for me to actually hosting, because I think our background or this department is quite different from the other universities. We are more into technology or technical knowledge actually. And the context of the kind of human and social aspects hasn't been really realized. But this opportunity actually can open up the eyes and also horizons in a way that we need to have this interdisciplinary and learn how to work with each other and kind of build up on each other's competency for a kind of more holistic approach, both when it comes to transformation of our societies, but also in education, in research, how we can make a synergy between our kind of fields, because we need to work with each other. Like no knowledge or actor alone can achieve the sustainability. We need each other. So I'm happy that we are actually bridging these gaps, both in research, practice, and actually in education. So let's see. How was your experience? Did you like Norway?
First of all, I like Norway, but I also liked the workshop that we had, because indeed I'm coming from a different background. Our students are more business-oriented or accountancy-oriented, so not technical. But still, they need certain skills to be able to to be valuable in these transitions in society. So indeed, learning from each other is very important. And one of the main outcomes of these 2 days was that it's about inner-outer transformation. And I noticed in my university, some colleagues are working on inner development of students, very impactful, but not linked to the big challenges of society. Others, like me, are working on the big challenge of society, but not linking it to the competencies. So how to build that bridge, that's something that we discussed a lot in these 2 days, where I learned a lot and hope to implement a lot. For you, what is one of the main outcomes of the sessions here for you?
I think maybe we should also talk about like what is kind of Align and how it started. As a teacher, and we talk a lot about learning processes, and I think I can reflect that for me, learning is happening when I have been into the kind of the journey, kind of aha moments that you have some perceptions, some assumptions, some belief system, that the process has changed you or developed you or transformed to another perspective, another kind of idea. And when you have that, then you can transfer to another person, right?
Yeah.
So for me, to be able to teach someone, I need to have been in that journey myself, right?
Yeah.
And with inner development, I think the process starts with us as educators. And I think what is very interesting for me is that we all are like-minded and maybe heart-minded. Like we have been through the same journey. Not necessarily everyone has been through it. We realize the importance of this inner development, personal development, and we just kind of united. We find each other somehow by accident, I believe, because none of us knew each other from before, but we had the same purpose, same vision, and we built a coalition. And then we write a project that's let's kind of scale up this network, kind of do it or transfer our voices to more people and really make it happen. So I'm very happy that actually seeing that what we have been discussed or it was visioned, now we are putting into action, we are learning from each other. So what I have learned in this kind of workshop was, as you said, like what is actually the kind of the learning outcomes, what we expect from students, how we should make sure that they have learned, which methods we need to use to assess their learning. And it was very kind of informative that we kind of transform our mindset and methodology from learning for than learning as like students. Like it means that students are also a part of co-participants. They can reflect. We don't need to just have them as a target group. Like they can be also a part of the journey. That for me was aha moment. Right?
No, I fully recognize it.
Yeah.
And also for us, because we were here with about 15 people from these 7 universities, also for me it was very valuable to learn about each other and share these experiences. I also like it that you already talked about the University Coalition. How did you get connected to it?
I think because it's when I recognize the importance of inner development and I was seeing that there is a gap between the technical knowledge, but also employing that technical knowledge in practice. So for me, I felt that it doesn't enough if I have all the knowledge to become an urban planner, if I don't have the skills to employ those knowledge in practice. So just the knowledge itself doesn't make me a good urban planner. There are other softer skills. And that was, so it started from the self journey that I realized what I need as a person to become a good planner, like beyond my knowledge. And then when I realized that, I thought that there is a gap in higher education that hasn't equipped us with those skills. So I took many courses outside and it was quite expensive and time consuming. And then I was just lucky to have it. And I was thinking that I need to kind of equip my students with that because not everybody has access to this. And I'm working at higher education, and that's the place that we need to actually give and equip the students with. But I felt alone because I'm coming from a kind of the context that is not a common thing to even kind of think about this aspect. Maybe it's more to social and human kind of the disciplines. And then I started to post on LinkedIn and people were just introducing me to IDG concepts, inner development goals for sustainable development goals. I joined the conference and then I get to know many of you and then it was a kind of networks. What about you?
Yeah, it's a bit similar that I learned about the IDGs. I went to the IDG summit in Stockholm. There I also met Niels Rot. So he was also for me an important link to this coalition because he had this vision that all these universities are learning, but can we not accelerate the learning by bringing them together? So he reached out to me and probably also to you and many others of the Align projects, whether we would like to become a founding partner of this university coalition. And luckily, I could convince the board and, well, we became a founding partner. But they also like it by now that there are, I think, about 30 other universities that are part of the University Coalition. And for me, that's very important because as 7 universities, we learn a lot in this project and being here. But when it's about the ripple effects, we need to find ways how to communicate this also to other universities who are on a similar journey and also looking for the bridges that you were talking about. So I really like it that we have this University Coalition. And I hope that also these podcasts are helpful for others to understand a bit more about what's going on And of course, all the results that we develop within Align, both from a research point of view and education point of view, it's open source. So I'm sure there will be ways for the listeners of this podcast to connect to the research outcomes and the ways how you can implement it in education.
Of course, let's make sure we do that and then kind of transfer our voices to the world. But also, I know that the Netherlands is a kind of forerunners in this aspect. And we had the first physical meeting actually at your university, and your rector has this kind of perspective already how to integrate it. Can you a little bit talk about that, like how it's started with you actually, that awareness about inner development? Is it a country aspect or is it university or?
Well, I think for sure it helps if you're working in an environment that is appreciative for also developing competencies, the inner part. And for Nyenrode, already for a long time, we have the mission serving society by shaping responsible leaders. And shaping is not just about transferring knowledge, but you want to shape people by challenging them about their inner compass and about their purpose in life. So it fitted with what we want to do, but we were lacking methods and way how to do it. And that's indeed where the IDG guide is very helpful. And also on top of it, learning how you can implement the IDG guides in education. Well, that's something that I'm learning over here and which I would like to bring back to Nyenrode.
Nice. Happy to have you as a partner. Very happy. Yeah. I agree that we're also into kind of systems theory, that everything can start with the individual level and then kind of organization or collective level and then the system change. I think we started with individual, but now we are doing it collectively. And hopefully we can also bring that change to our system, to the society, to maybe change our policies or regulations.
In education, I often use a quote that's linked to this from Margaret Mead.
Yeah.
You know it?
No, tell me.
It's about never doubt the capacity of a small, thoughtful and committed group of citizens to change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has. And that kind of trust, that's also for students in a class who might wonder, but who am I to change the world? Yeah, if people don't act, it never happens. And it's the other way around. If you see big changes, you can always trace it back to a group of people, thoughtful. That's why education is important, but also committed. Much more the inner journey. So, yeah, learning about this and applying it, that's what I like to do in my work.
Nice. Then I will keep that quote for me, because now the world is getting crazy and sometimes it's becoming dark, like who am I? But then having this kind of reminder actually help you to kind of continue with your mission and purpose. Happy to have you. So let's keep going the good impact.
Hey, thanks.